We may be able to observe several kinds of people. There are those who know how to save, there are people living beyond their means, those living from paycheck to paycheck, and those high earning individuals. But is it really a necessity for us to be earning hundreds of thousands just to secure our future? Can you be financially literate even if you don't make a lot of money? Well, let's find out. Financial literacy, as defined, is the ability to understand and effectively use various financial skills, including personal financial management, budgeting, and investing. So it's basically how we handle and manage our resources, understanding money in and money out, managing debt, saving and growing money. It's better to learn and understand this while we are still young. Not only gain knowledge, but better make it part of our daily living and make it a habit. To whom is this applicable? Well, it applies to all. As long as you have a goal, as long as you want to achieve your dream, it doesn't matter how much you are earning, from a minimum wage earner to a billionaire, freelancer, business owner. It doesn't matter whether you are currently earning actually. You can plan ahead. You can manage what you currently have. And you can avoid whatever mistakes you've made in the past. To do this, we need the basic concepts of accounting, budgeting, debt, and investments. Under accounting, we have the basics: asset, liability, income, and expense. Asset, as defined, is a resource that you own and control with the expectation that it will provide a future benefit. So that's cash, real estate, house, land, condo unit, a vehicle. So those are your assets. And then for liabilities, it is an obligation, a debt, something you owe that eventually needs to be settled through transfer of economic benefit, usually a sum of money. For income, it is the money that we receive in exchange of providing a good or a service. It is the inflow, money in. We can also actually get income from investment. And an expense, on the other hand, it is the opposite of income. It is the cash outflow. It is the cost. It is a reduction in value of an asset as it is used to generate income. So, for example, you have to pay for an expense, you reduce your cash, which is an asset, you reduce the value of your asset. Now that we know the assets, liability, income, and expense, so how do we manage it? Build your own budget. Know how much money comes in and how much money comes out. How much money do you earn for a living? How much are you earning? Is it a fixed income or a variable income? What are the things that you need to pay for? Also, are they fixed or are they variable? Or are they there for just a certain period of time? This can go as simple as accounting for your allowance as students. So say for example, you have 200 pesos a day. So 120 pesos goes for food and then the 60 pesos for transportation. Oh, lucky you, you still have 20 pesos left. Well, if you were employed, you may opt to compute your budget or prepare your budget on a monthly basis. Say you receive a net pay of 40,000 pesos a month. 12,000 pesos goes for housing loan amortization, and then 12,000 pesos for food and other necessities. 6,000 goes to utilities, and then we have 5,000 allocated for other expenses. That sums up to 35,000 pesos, which then leaves you with 5,000 pesos. Now, it's up to you how to use the money that has not been spent. Are you going to use it for purchasing another item, buy a new stuff, use it for consumption, order food online, or save it for unexpected expenses? Actually, there's no specific rule on how you should allocate your earnings. But we have here the commonly used. We have the 50-30-20 and the 70-20-10. 50% goes to the needs, 30% for the wants, and then 20% for the savings. That's 50-30-20. And then the other one, we have the 70% goes to spending, 20% for saving, and 10% for sharing. Learn to prioritize fixed expenses. When you do your budget, make sure to allocate resources to fixed expenses first. Say, for the previous example, we have the housing loan amortization, right? That's amounting to 12,000 a month. So that is fixed as to the timing. Say you pay it every month end, and then that's also fixed as to the amount. For food, utilities, and other necessities, yes, the amount may vary a little on a month-on-month basis, but yeah, sure, we are to incur the same expenses on a monthly basis. So, better to allocate a specific amount, a specific portion of your earnings for these expenses. Treat savings as part of your fixed expense. So, this is to ensure that you have something being kept, you have something secured. We have to admit the sad truth that most people actually do not prioritize savings. It's like they have an income now, spend it up to the last centavo, and then when something unexpected comes up, you can't help but resort to borrowing money from others, and that's not a good habit. Stay on top of your bills. Pay on time, learn to pay on time, avoid necessary charges or penalties. Say, for example, you have this loaned house, you issued post-dated checks for the month, for monthly payment of your house. And then one time you failed to fund your bank account. For some reason, you did not remember to fund it. So then, you will be charged by the bank for issuing a bouncing check. That's one. And then at the same time, you will also be charged by your creditor for late payment. So say just 1 day delay, sad to say, it would still be subjected to those charges. So better be cautious. Remember your deadlines. Managing debt. So there are instances when we cannot avoid having to borrow funds, whatever the case may be. Ensure to settle it. So how do we manage our liabilities? Know what to pay first. Initially, we have to look at the deadlines, which are going to fall due earliest. Then basically, that's the ones you need to settle first. Well, in desperate times, when you have a lot on your plate, so much going on, and then you only have a limited resource to pay, then you may want to check on which is the most burdensome. So that's your priority to settle first. Then, you see, most obligations carry interests. It's better to know how much is the interest rate that comes together with your debt or your obligation, so that that would be the deciding factor on how or on what to settle first. Basically, it's the obligation with the highest rate that you need to settle first. Could you just imagine yourself having to play catch up every time? Say you borrowed 1,000 pesos in August. Then here comes your paycheck, September paycheck, and you pay for the 1,000 peso that you owe. However, by the end of September, you open your wallet and see nothing there. So here you go. You again borrowed 1,000 peso from a friend, and then the cycle goes on and on. It's a never-ending process, and it's not good, I tell you. So you have to do something about it. It's either you cut on your expenses, or you have to look for another source of income, to um get rid of the 1,000 peso borrowing every month. Say unexpectedly you were given a bonus. Wow, a bonus. So with this 1,000 peso, amount that you owe, let's say it's another amount that you owe someone, would you be able to enjoy the fruit of your hardships? Would you be able to enjoy the bonus that you were able to receive? Where did it go? In just a blink of an eye, it's gone. It's used to pay for your debt and you did not enjoy it. So that's the thing that we need to avoid. We have to enjoy the fruits of our hardships. We have to enjoy life. And one way to do it is to manage your debt. Save to build up on your asset. So having excess cash does not mean you have to spend it all for consumption. You may want to put aside something for emergency use, or you may use it for investment. Or, why not, capitalize and start building your own business or source of income. Even a small one will do. Think of your hobbies, your hidden talent, your passion. From there, you can start. You can go buy baking tools and start business, grab materials and do commissioned artworks. Simple things like that can go a long way, especially if well sustained and properly managed. Invest in your future. Real estate is undoubtedly a very good investment. You could buy a house and lot for like 2 million now, and then after several years, its value could go up to 5 to 10 million actually. Well, we now have a very limited space. See the rise of buildings, condo units. Floor area is being maximized given the limited lot area. So if you are able to purchase a house and lot now, even a land, just a land, well, that's a very good start. Investment in stocks is also good. Another form of asset wherein it represents an ownership share in a company. So how do we make money through this? Some corporations pay dividends to shareholders. Simply put, let's say the company did well last year, they earned more than expected. So why not? Might as well share their profit to the shareholders. Another way of gaining from investments is through buy and sell. Okay? So let's say you bought 100 units of stocks for 50 pesos each. Then after quite some time, its value went up and became 70 pesos per unit. So, you see the 20 pesos difference? Then, you can decide afterwards if you are to sell with 20 pesos gain per unit, or you are willing to keep the investment and wait for the price to shoot up again. So, that's when you can again decide whether to wait again for the price increase or whether you sell the stocks. But take note, it's not always going up. It may be the other way around. The price of stocks can go down from 50 pesos that you purchase it. It can go down to 30 pesos per unit. By that time, it's up to you to decide whether to sell your stocks at a loss of 20 pesos per unit or wait for some time. Maybe the prices would go up. If not, maintain the 50 peso price. It may go up to 60, 70. Who knows? We usually invest using our hard-earned money. So keep in mind that nothing that's worthwhile is ever easy. If it seems to be an easy money, think twice. Know the facts first. Be sure to make only legitimate investments. The coronavirus brought a lot of changes in our lives, not only health-wise, but also with our financial transactions as well as opportunities. You may have noticed the rise of online payments. So GrabCar now has GrabPay. When you buy from small businesses, say from the ones offering ube cheese pandesal, mango graham, tapsilog, hamsilog, longsilog, you can observe that almost all are accepting GCash payments or bank fund transfers. Well, do not forget Shopee, Lazada, Shine, Zalora, and the like, which are very tempting online shopping applications. You know what? Here, I tell you, do not easily give in, especially for those platforms that accept delayed payments. Buy now, pay later, Shopee Pay Credit, G Credit. credit card installment payments. Ensure to only make purchases if you have the means to pay for it. Not that you're just expecting cash to come in, but that you already have that cash on hand. We do not want to incur costs which payment is still shaky or still might be cash inflow. Being confined at home with very limited chance of going out to do things that we used to gave rise to thriving small businesses. Well, for some, it became their alternative source of income, especially for those who lost their jobs, for those who got laid off, for those affected by the closure of establishments. And then for some, it is their source of additional income. So for you, if you have the skills, if you have the talent, the passion, the resources, it's not impossible for you to start your own. What can we get from being financially literate? So actually, it helps us avoid poor spending decisions. It can help us avoid accumulating unsustainable debt burdens. It can protect us from being victims of financial fraud, because we already have the concepts here. We know what to do and not to do. It can support achieve life goals, make investments, grow money, be successful in the future. It helps us enjoy life. It takes away the stress, the anxiety, the negative vibes. It helps us appreciate and enjoy the fruits of our hardships. So, you there, what are you waiting for? Start now. Make it a habit, make it part of your daily life. Share the knowledge with others.